नमस्कार, मेरे चैनल में आप सभी का स्वागत है। अभी मैं हूँ बीकानेर हाउस एलटीसी एग्जीबिशंस हॉल में, जहाँ पे संजय दास जी का बहुत ही अच्छा फ़ोटो एग्जीबिशन लगा हुआ है। और ये जो एग्जीबिशन है ये ख़ास तौर पे पूरा बंगाल का, वेस्ट बंगाल को दर्शाया गया है, हर कल्चर को और हर एक चीज़ को बहुत ही बारीकी से इस फोटोग्राफी एग्जीबिशन में दिखाया गया है। आइए मेरे साथ देखते हैं इनका एग्जीबिशन।
It is a complete delight to invite all of you to come and visit Sanjay Das's exhibition here at Bikaner House. Do not miss this exhibition. Do not miss an opportunity to see the work that he has been putting together over the last 12 years. It's a work of love, in-depth documentation, archiving of his visits to Bengal, the craftspeople, the story of the Nachni, the story of the Potachitra artist or the fisherman, even the bowl. There is so much to see. Every image contains a story, contains a narrative. Come and see it, join us.
Showcasing is about the Durga Puja in different parts of Bengal, in different ways which we see Durga Puja in Bengal. But what we know as Durga as Mahishasur Mardini, where we normally see Durga Puja in the metropolitan cities. But these are the Durga forms which are being celebrated there in Bengal, as in Pateshwari Durga Puja, where the drawings are on the, they are made on a pot. So this is the potted Durga Puja. So this is one form of, this is another form of Durga Puja where there is Shiva Durga Puja, where Durga is celebrated as a Kanya Roop mein, not as a Shakti Roop. What we see Mahishasur Mardini is the Shakti roop. This is the Kanya roop. So this is one form of Durga Puja over there. This is another potted Durga Puja in Vardhaman, which is almost 800 to 900 years old. And this pot is painted every 10 to 11 years once, so that it retains its glory the way it is. And it's very minimalistic Durga Puja, what we see in a very large form here in Delhi or metropolitan cities like Kolkata and all. These are very, very close and very family bound kind of Durga Pujas. After the rituals, you will hardly see anyone around. But they are very meaningful because they are very precise about the timings. They have a wall clock, you can see over here. They're always everywhere. You can see one clock in everywhere because they are very particular about the seconds and minutes and everything, so that the rituals are performed in the utmost right way. So this is another immersion of one of the villages where this is known as the Bhashan Pukur. Bhashan is the immersion pond. So all the village Durga Pujas, they get their idols alongside the pond, and then there is fireworks which happens from the pond. So first the firework is thrown inside the pond, and then from there the firework happens. So and they are all made in the villages themselves. So that is the celebration they do. So that is what they are totally bound with, the kind of what I say, that they are totally into the kind of festivity you can see, and then the immersion happens. So this is a 29 pinnacle. So there are different types of temples in Bengal which has got pinnacles. So it starts from 5 pinnacle till 29 pinnacle. So this is a 29 pinnacle temple. This is dedicated to Lord Krishna. So I have been going to different places documenting these temples. So this is something very different because there is a Chala style temple and a pinnacle based temple together at one place. So this was unique. So Inadi and Nidhi decided that we should showcase this as one of our
Where is this?
This is in Kalna.
In Kalna.
In Kalna.
No, Kalna to be very.
Yeah, we went to Kalna, but we missed this.
This is Pratapeshwar temple complex, and just opposite to this complex is the
that-
Aksho Art Shiv.
That's the one we
Yes.
saw. Actually, we did see this, but we didn't. Now that you explain it, we
And this
go
thatched
opposite.
roof is something that you also get to see in Bengal.
Because that
Otherwise,
is the root.
this is the design that is then replicated in homes. This is the thatched roof.
So here they have an annual festivity of Rash,
Rash.
which happens. So there are two Rashbaris, Chetla Choto Rashbari, the smaller one, and the Bodo Rashbari, the bigger one. So this is now in ruins, but yet the temple is functional. Every year Purohit only comes to perform the puja, but that is the best part, and that is the faith of Bengal which I am trying to follow. That even the houses are in abundance, but the puja ghar is still alive.
This reminds me of a shot in Buddhadev Dasgupta's film, and he shows people who wear masks, and they have all these performances where people dress up and they wear masks and they go in a procession. So this is something that recalls his films, but so dramatic and so beautiful. The Kash is of course very much associated with Bengal. You've seen it in Ray's films, of course, Pather Pachali, and associated with autumn, with Durga Puja. But he has been following Bengal, and his trail has led him to all kinds of very interesting places and people, this being one of them.
Yeah, and this was so accidental that I was there at that time of before. This is pre-Durga Puja. So I was traveling in that area of Purulia. So I happened to just cross by this huge field of Kashbon, and I saw that the youngsters, they were practicing
Yes.
this acrobatic art. So I thought that I must stop over and see that if I can get something very intense and interesting out of there. So this walk was so as if that Ma Durga is coming towards you and approaching, that Durga Puja approaching, and I was there at that time was actually making it so meaningful for me. So I happened to take this. I have tried to, like, people who are performing over there in different forms, like these Chow dancers, they have done a story about that, how in daytime, in night time, and in the rural area, how they perform, do the performances over there. So when I was sitting and having a cup of tea with the Chow mask makers colony, I thought that why should I try and collaborate with them? They make the mask for me and to the scale what I want to, because this is not the scale they go. Their head is still only this, but I wanted it slightly larger than life so that I can fit in some image which is very interesting for me. So then they made this mask, and then I also made the paper mache thing with them, which was again documented by one of the friends over there. So then I got it all the way from Bengal to my place, and then I thought of that this image will actually give the feel of the whole thing. So this is how I have tried to collaborate the work.
The goddess and the goddess.
Yes, goddess and the goddess. And these are the images which are actually the performances, how they perform in the rural areas. So normally we see a stage where it's very nicely made, but that stage is just the ground and been divided into two halves, where the right side the women sit and the other side the men sit, and then they are coming in between them and performing and going out. So it's very, that jatra of Bengal, that entering and an exit is the very important factor of jatra. So this is a part of that kind of a fusion which I found over there, and they're getting ready in a very temporary setup. This is the tempo in which they get their mask and everything, and even the artists come, and then there is a temporary shed made over here with a small bulb, and they are getting ready over there, and you can see them here.
There is an aside here that I have to share with all of you. When Sanjay was growing up, his Mamar Badi, where he spent a lot of time, they were very involved with theatre. So he grew up actually in this environment, where theatre was...
Theatre, that the local, we say it Jatra.
Yes.
So they were the pioneers of Jatra in Delhi. And
What was the company called?
Srimati Opera. So there were two companies in Delhi. One was Chenna Mahal and another was Srimati Opera, was led by my mama. So I have seen them, how they practice, how they do modulation, how they learn how to speak on the stage, when to exit, how much to speak and how much to throw. So that is a very important part of that. And so that upbringing helped me when I was there to understand their art so intense, and I had tried to do what I have done over here.
I love this shot of this goat which is kind of nibbling at the mask.
This is their colony of the mask makers colony actually. So that is their place where they make masks, and the whole colony is dedicated, as Kumartul is dedicated to the idol makers. So this is a mask makers colony over there. So one place in Bengal is Mohesher Roth, and the second one is this of Guptipara. So this is the Vrindavan Chandra temple. This is the terracotta temple complex where these deities are presided, and then later on, on the day of Rath Yatra, they are taken out of the temple site and then taken to the Rath, where the Rath is there. We have not showcased that, but these are a part of that whole storytelling of the Rath Yatra, and the scale is massive. Hundreds and thousands of people are in the procession when this happens. This is actually
like a Charulata setting for me.
Yeah, and this is actually the Jatrapala area.
Oh, is
setup.
that?
Yeah. So the men used to sit in this floor, and the women were on the upper corridor floor, and the local people used to sit beside around this arched iron thing, and the Jatra used to happen.
That's why we have the balcony seats nowadays.
Yeah. So I found very interesting a Jesus on the wall in this way, in this attire was very mesmerizing for me. So
I just think that this is, the amalgamation of the imperial impact right to the core in Bengal. So in other parts of India, it just touches peripherally to the urban part, but in Bengal, the imperialistic influences touches deep inside, and it's just so brilliant. Nobody would have ever thought, looking at this image, that this has come from rural Bengal. So that's like really, really beautiful.
The storytelling which they do in the form of the mythological stories, they paint in a very colorful way. But when I was with them, staying with them, talking to them, I felt that I also do some storytelling in my way. So why can't I do a fusion of my work with them So then I decided that I do a storytelling of this as the Chaurok Mela. So this is a very famous thing which happens at the last day of the New Year. So I did this whole story and I tried to put it together in this form, and then I took it back to Bengal with the Patachitra artist who did the border for me. So some part of is mine and some part is done by the artists over there. That is how I have done this image. This is with the Kantha weavers I have done. So this imagery on this cloth is mine, and a very old lady who does very traditional work of Kantha. I had told her that this is what I am looking at, and then she very nicely done this Kantha work for me. Same.
Please go, unless you go closer.
Yeah, please see, it's very nicely and a very traditional work they have.
You have to notice that the lady has been documented in this Kathar Katha.
Okay.
So this is her habitat, which is naturally and organically so beautiful, and this is where she practices. And it's so organic, no lines are made. She's doing it out of practice. So I've seen a lot of them work, but the documentation is brilliant, you know, how they are really working on this and using old fabric. The idea was to use old worn out fabric, patch them together and, you know, recycle them.
That's the whole essence of Kantha.
Kantha.
Old saris were brought together and made.
Especially for little babies, they
Yes.
are soft.
So I thought that how can I bring them in my artwork, the artisans who are working there. So I thought that why not make a dokra fish, and I assigned them this with my design, that how I want to showcase. So this is showing where Arjuna is in the fish eye and in the water reflection. So I thought that it should come out as a 3D kind of a thing. So they have, the artist has done, and my photograph, so it's like
So
this.
also
Again,
even
which
the fish
area?
is very
Which
beautiful.
area?
This is in Bankura.
So which is why this is familiar. This is the
Yeah,
Bankura.
yeah, the
And this,
Bankura, one of
the temples are from Bankura, and the artist is also from Bankura,
the Dokra artist.
Dokra artist.
So this fish was specially commissioned for this
Very
work.
beautiful fish.
The story of the eye of the fish with Arjuna. Now on that wall.
So this wall is actually talking about the land. So this Nidhi and Inadi has been looking at as the Hibiscus trail in a very smaller form. This whole is definitely a part, but here we have made a cluster of 9 where we are talking about a very interesting temple complex which resembles of the Russian architecture, but this is a Kali temple. So this is where the Bengali someone is sitting and doing fishing. So that is making it more authentic that way. So this is another temple in Patra in Mednipur. There is a cluster of temples around. This is a French architecture. So this is another temple in Murshidabad. This is another Namakhya Harami Deori, this gate. So this is also in Murshidabad. This is the mask maker. This is again very interesting. This Varaha is in Bankura district. It was being pulled out from one of the ponds, and the ASI wanted to take it for the museum, but they couldn't move it from here. And the belief was that the god presides there, so the villagers said that no, we won't allow you. So now they have made a shed over that so that it's protected, but still it stays there. So faith plays a very important role in Bengal. So that actually leads to my storytelling, where you have to believe in something. So that belief is what I have been doing for 12 years with all these imageries. And this is again from Bankura. So Bankura, many people see horses and elephant, but this is very unique, a cat being made. So, and this is again a cornice of one of the old mansions. Earlier these cornices were decorated with wood carvings. So this is one of the wood carving over there. So I wanted to showcase that it's just not terracotta, but wood and other plaster material, and all these things used to be used for building. Murshidabad, this is known as Futi Masjid. So normally mosques are shown in the way we conceptualize mosque. But this is a very different structure, an abundant place, but photographically it was very interesting for me. So this is one of the images, and this is the Tomluk Rajbari. This is in Mednipur. So here you can see there were underground road pathways inside this Rajbari. And the interesting part is that if you see, there are bricks which are in rectangular form, and there were bricks in circular form being baked. So everything was customized according to the need of that building of the structure. This is again, I was in Ganga Sagar, I was shooting Ganga Sagar Mela. So there, this was a very early morning mist image. This is the reflection in the water, but definitely not of the same, but at the same place. So this is just out of the sheer beauty of the place. This image is a part of the Charak Mela which I have shot. So this younger boy, I found his eyes and the way he was looking was very interesting for me, with a mask just pulled up from his face and kept on the head. So this was just a sheer moment which I could capture at that time. This image is from Sundarban. These are the mangrove areas, and this was really very interesting because of the light and shade and the way the boat is with the residing water. After that, this interesting landscape is there. So this is again where the way I have seen this image is the coexistence of God and human being together, where Kali is also there and people are also, and everyone is in their own space in the same platform. These are the two videos I have, installations I have worked on. Story of Nachinis, which are now gradually fading away from us. So after this, you people can please listen to the narration over here. And these are the small snippets which I have thought that if someone is not going through, can also visualize that how it has been conceptualized. So, and this is about Manasha Mangal. This is about the snake goddess. This is also in very deep villages. These now happen. So this is again about the performance of the Manasa Mangal in the villages. In Calcutta, people are very aware of the botanical garden and the banyan tree of botanical garden. So I thought of going beyond that. This was shot in Ganga Sagar. So the best part of this is the man sitting over here who is giving us the scale of the whole. His presence is actually giving us the sense of the image over here. And this is again a very interesting temple site. These are the Jain temples. There were 21 of them. In the 18th century they were made. And now there are only 3 left because this whole Damodar river was being flooded with this area, and now they are submerged underwater. This is in Purulia district. And this room is, I don't want to talk much about because this is dedicated to water and in different forms what all I have seen and I have experienced Bengal in the vastness I have tried to capture, and we have kept this room in the same way.
The show had architectural works, heavy works, and by the time we thought people will come to this room, it has to calm down the energy, and we wanted to bring some Zen energy. And that's when we realized that there's so much image of water. There's Ganga Sagar, there's the delta, which will actually visually calm us down. And then we were fighting over this image, that image, that image. And then we thought, we had printed this in a smaller size, and the boat used to get lost always in the smaller size. And here, the boat is welcoming you from behind 2 arches, and that's what we had envisioned. And the calmness is coming out. So Sanjay's work, some of his landscapes are therapeutic in a way.
And it's also coming together of nature and sustenance. Boat means sustaining, sustenance.
And fishing nets, absolutely. But more than that, the whole image sort of brings peace to you. It's like therapeutic. And a lot of his work does that to me. When I stand in front of his work, it just really does that to me. God bless you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
সঞ্জয় দাসের এই ফটোগ্রাফি প্রদর্শনীতে এসে আমার খুবই ভালো লেগেছে, কারণ বেশিরভাগ ছবি বা ফটোগ্রাফি অসাধারণ, বিশেষ করে নৌকো, সেই জলের ভেতর নৌকো, তারপর কচুরিপানার মধ্যে ছেলে, তারপর বনের মধ্যে একা নৌকো, আর নদীতে একটা ভাঙা মন্দিরের পাশ দিয়ে নৌকো, আর সম্ভবত সুন্দরবন, সেই সুন্দরবনে সে অরণ্যে একজন একাকী মানুষ, সব কিছু মন্দিরের ভেতর থেকে নেওয়া ফটো অসাধারণ। এসব সবগুলো আমি খুব এনজয় করেছি এবং আমি মনে করছি যারা এই প্রদর্শনী দেখছে সবারই খুব ভালো লেগেছে। তার আরও মানে অভিনন্দন তাকে, তিনি আরও ভালো প্রদর্শনী করবেন, অনেক জায়গায় করবেন, আমি আশা করছি তার মানে সার্বিক সাফল্য।
Well, this has been a very eventful year for me where photography is concerned, because earlier this year I was at the Kochi Biennale showing Shahidul Alam's Singed But Not Burnt, followed by Abir Abdullah's exhibition here in Delhi. So it has been a year of photography, and it's just fitting that at the end of the year we have Sanjay's exhibition here at Bikaner House presented by Gallery Ragini. Sanjay's association with me goes back years when we met for the first time, and I saw his photographs of Murshidabad. The association I personally have with Murshidabad is very special because I was born there. My grandfather's home was in Murshidabad, so a lot of the images that I saw that he had taken pictures of were very familiar to me. When I visited his studio, I saw more images of Murshidabad, Bankura, rural Bengal that I had never ever seen before. Also, I got a chance to meet the Nachni, the craftspeople who work with dyeing crafts now. But he had recorded their journeys, he had documented their lives. I got to see a temple that was submerged in the waters because of the floods. I got to meet the people who make the Potachitra paintings, and they sing about life, loss, love. All through, it was the time of the COVID and we were all stuck in our homes. But I was in touch with Sanjay, and this evening it seems the perfect moment to celebrate his work. We are at Bikaner House and this amazing exhibition, which has been very, very well attended. We've had huge critical attention, we've got media attention, we've got people posting on their own. It has been a spontaneous and a very warm response to Sanjay's photography, which he deserves. He has been working for the last 12 years now. For him to get this kind of support today from viewers who've come and who are raving about the work is wonderful. I'm also very thankful to Gallery Ragini, especially to Nidhi and Ragini herself, who've been marvelous through this whole thing. When we were setting the show up, when we were planning the display, the whole team got together, and after that, this is what they were able to achieve. So somehow it's all worked, and we are still having guests pour into the gallery when it's well past the time that the gallery should be closed. So good luck to Sanjay Das from my side. I wish him all success and more shows and more hard work.